Hello friends, I'm Reverend Mark Creech, Executive Director of the Christian Action League of North Carolina. Today in Raleigh, our state's capital, a new journey is beginning. Lawmakers will gavel in the first real day of work for the 2017 long session. You know, most people are going about their business every day, dealing with personal matters, making a life, and just trying to keep the bills paid. And someone or something is always requiring a claim on their time. So politics is not really on the mind of most people. Yet what happens in Raleigh and Washington touches every home and every life in our state. And therefore, we need to make the time to be engaged in the political process as good citizens. In a representative republic as our own, we can't just leave everything up to our public officials and hope it all works out all right. You see, citizen involvement is imperative, and this is especially true for Christians. I think the author of the first exhaustive dictionary and a great American patriot of yesteryear, Noah Webster, summarized why Christian involvement is most critical when he wrote, "The moral principles and precepts contained in the Scriptures ought to form the basis of all of our civil constitutions and laws. All the miseries and evils which men suffer from, vice, crime, ambition, injustice, oppression, slavery, and war, proceed from their despising or neglecting the precepts contained in the Bible." I don't believe it's hyperbole to contend that if Christians are absent from the debate, then that vacuum is filled by inferior arguments, misguided and nefarious influences. In other words, the blind end up leading the blind. This year, lawmakers in the North Carolina General Assembly will take up a number of weighty proposals, but I believe none is likely to be of more consequence than a possible effort to repeal HB2, commonly known as the bathroom law. One attempt's already been made to repeal that failed, but I think we can be certain it'll be tried again this session. You know, I've always argued that HB2 is much bigger than where people go to use the bathroom. I think psychiatrist and a member of the Fox News medical aid team, Keith Abloh, explained best what's really at stake when he wrote, "The bathroom debate is really a debate about the fundamental way we Americans will define any truth, whether it's something simply felt by an individual or something scientifically demonstrable and verifiable. If we believe that transgender individuals must use the restrooms they choose, one could argue that many of our cultural institutions must flex away from fact. And one could argue that cultural chaos will result. If lawmakers compromise on HB2, then our citizens are apt to be threatened with legal liability for alleged acts of discrimination based completely on perceived or subjective identities and not some objective trait. If lawmakers compromise on HB2, they will concede to dictates that cause severe difficulties for freedoms necessary to free markets, fair opportunities for contracts, free speech, and religious liberty. To bargain or negotiate these incomparable and priceless rights away, even in some manner partly, can only mean the ultimate and complete loss of them. This is really what's at stake with any attempt to repeal HB2. Furthermore, let me add that the whole nation is watching North Carolina on this issue. In fact, the world is watching. In the coming days, I encourage you to watch for our free weekly e-newsletter, the Cal Insider, and our urgent action alerts. This is the best way for you to stay informed and respond to lawmakers about this critical issue. If you haven't signed up for these, just go to our website at christianactionleague.org and click on the section at the top right of our homepage and follow the prompts. Second, let me implore you, Christian, to pray. Pray for our lawmakers, our governor, the courts, both state and federal, and our new president and Congress. There's plenty to pray about, and I assure you that HB2 will not be the only issue that will need the attention of our prayers in the coming North Carolina legislative session. There will be many others. You know, in the Old Testament book of Jeremiah, the Lord says, "Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not." Lastly, please also remember that we can't do this ministry, which is so strategic to the moral climate of our state, so necessary to keeping freedom alive, so imperative to reducing, as Noah Webster suggested, the miseries and evils which men suffer from: vice, crime, ambition, injustice, oppression, slavery, and war, proceeding from their despising and neglect of the Scriptures. We can't do a ministry of this nature without your financial support. You can make a secure online gift through our website, or you can send your contribution through the mail to Christian Action League of North Carolina, 809 Spring Forest Road, Suite 1000, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27609. If your voice is going to be heard, better still, the impact of your Christian values significantly felt, then generous funding is critical. And I'm earnestly asking for your assistance and sacrifice. The Christian Action League is designated by the IRS as a 501c4 organization, and therefore donations are not tax exempt. I want to thank you for your time. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the great state of North Carolina. And God bless the United States of America.